Let's take a bit of a look at updating queues. So if you're recording a new lighting state, you're recording a new queue, you use the record button for that. But if you want to edit or slightly adjust one of those queues you've recorded, the best option is to use the update function to update a queue. So what I'm going to do is go into one of my queues. I'm also going to open my visualizer bottom right, just so we can see things a little bit easier. And if I go into queue 1.5, that queue brings fixtures 3 and 4 to 0. But I've realised I've made a mistake. 3 and 4 should be on at full in this queue, but 2 and 5 should be off. So I'm going to make those changes. I'm going to go and say that I want 2 and 5 at 0, and I want 3 and 4 at. So there we go, we've made my changes. And in my classic view here, in the classic grid, you can see a mixture. I've got a mixture of my manual values and some queue values. So there are some queue values here I haven't touched. They are exactly how we had them in the queue before. We don't need to edit those. We've only adjusted fixtures 2 through 5, and we now want to save those changes. And so it's really easy. All we need to do is we've got two options. We can either do an update or an update enter. Both of those are absolutely fine. So you can double hit update or you can do an update enter. In my example, I'm going to do an update enter. So tap update, tap enter, and there we go. Those changes are saved. My console has automatically released those manual values and grabbed those fixtures and saved them into the queue. And we can see there we've got the yellow border around the queue showing that we have gone into this queue. We're in this queue, it's live on stage, our update has been saved. Now you can specify the queue number you want to update. So that's useful if you want to make some changes and then update a queue different to the one you're in. Not recommended. It's always recommended if you're updating a queue, or in fact updating anything really, go into it first. So you can see it on stage, you can then make those changes, and then you can update the queue you're in. But it's just worth mentioning, I could go and say an update 3 enter, for example, if I wanted to make a change to a queue that I'm not in. But in most cases, you probably want to be in the queue that you're working on at the time. If you want to, you can choose specific fixtures to include when you update a queue. So, for example, if I've got 7 and 8 on stage right now, fixture 7 and 8 there, but actually I only want fixture 7 to be included in my update. Well, I'm going to use the syntax 7 update enter. 7 has been cleared. Notice how it's gone from being a manual control value to a queue value. That fixture has been grabbed and included in the queue. Fixture 8, well, I haven't told it to go off. I've still got control of that manually. But if I release it, 8 goes away, but we can see 7 is still on. So we can see that 7 has indeed been included in 1.5. So that means that I've just literally made a change to my lighting state and then selected the fixtures that I want to get included in the update. And so I've gone, select the fixture numbers, update, enter. And that allows me to just include the fixtures that I specify in the update. Another option to be aware of when it comes to updating your queues is you can update just the selected fixtures. So in that example we did there, we said 7 update enter. Well, that's how we can specify what fixtures we want to include all from a single string. But a slightly different approach you might want to take is to just update those fixtures that are currently selected. So in this example, if I go and say 8 through 10 at, and I'm then going to go and say 9 enter to select it, I can now tell the console only include those fixtures that are selected. So I can go and say update QQ. And if I do an update QQ, that's going to then say update Q bracket selected. And I'm going to go ahead and say enter. which means that it updates the queue we're currently in. Now in this example, notice that 8 and 10 have gone, because in this example our programmer was cleared. Our manual values were removed by doing an update QQ command, meaning the only lights we've got on stage are those that are in the queue.